everyone, welcome back to another Sims 4 video. Today I'm going to be renovating my official Sims 4 starter home, the one that's shipped with the Enchanted by Nature pack. This is just wild. The house I'm talking about is this One Mary Shores Road. Okay, there's someone currently living in there, but don't worry about it. It is in Innisgreen in the coast of Admore, the lovely bustling seaside village filled with lore and history. Okay, it's pretty much just like a nice coastal colorful seaside town inspired by many colorful like seaside towns in Ireland, actually really close to where I live, so this was very close to my heart. There are cute little things you can do in town. Of course, you can start your life and live in my starter home, but today I thought it would be fun if we renovate this little home. Now, not to say that there's anything wrong with my house. I of course love my house. I mean, I wouldn't have sent it into The Sims if I wasn't proud of it. If you want to see how I built this from start to finish, the whole thought process and seeing how the world develops, I have a specific video on that, so I can leave that linked for you down below. It is wild, it is crazy, but there are of course different things that I wasn't able to do, or I wasn't able to add, or maybe things that now that I look at it I would have liked to have changed. So this is what we're doing in this video. So what I'm going to be doing essentially is I'm not going to be using any other packs other than base game and Enchanted by Nature. And of course, we're going to keep it as close as we can to the original budget. So I think it leaves you, is it 38 or is it, I feel like it's 20 simoleons it leaves you. I feel like this is wrong. Okay, I just did a really quick reset and it is 20 simoleons that I left you with. I mean, it's not a lot of money to leave you with when you go into a starter home. If you think about it, there's a lot of items that I've added because I really did want to prioritize the aesthetics, and I feel like that is the case for a lot of us when we build for The Sims. We obviously want to make sure that things are nice and they look, you know, kind of not empty, even though there's still people that I see giving out that this house is just horrendous and empty, and I have seen it. Obviously, the majority of people understand that starter homes are meant to be kind of empty, and not necessarily meant to, but it is hard to make starter homes look not empty, specifically when you are working with a tight strict list of guidelines, or you just don't want to make it too personalized, but you still want to give your Sims enough room to like start an activity. Especially in this pack, there is new activities such as the apothecary table, which does take up a lot of room. So I was like, if I don't make this sitting room spacious enough, or if I don't give you like a little office looking space upstairs as well, then you're not going to be able to put any of your stuff, and then you guys will be complaining that there's not enough room in the house. So it's you know, you can never please anyone. But what I wanted to talk about today is how I can kind of alter this house and what I can do to it now that I can, you know, do things my way as such. Even though I'm like terrified to even touch it because I obviously really love it, and every single thing that I've added is added with like a strategy, and I've added it specifically and meticulously exactly where you see it. But the one thing I'm going to do straight off the bat is put on my move objects cheat. Yay! Okay, that is like the one thing that I was dying to use when I was doing this house. So even for instance, like random things like this, like obviously this, I had F5 on, so I guess yeah, I had F5 on, but now I could like actually move the lamp where I want to, and like even with the couch, like it's like stuck against the wall. I don't usually do that. I like to have a little bit of a gap, and now I can do that with F5, and I think that is amazing. So there's a number of things like that that I would have liked to do. Actually, now that I think about it, I could have used, oh, I have no money. Okay, that's very fair. I wanted to use, I could have used this chair actually. I wonder, would that work? Now, can I just remove these two for 1 second and see whether this would have matched? Oh, it would have matched. Oh no. Okay, well, maybe we could add this. It's like casual random little chair because it perfectly does actually match. Oh, hold on a while. Okay, that's kind of cute. I don't really like the dark wooden legs of that because then essentially I would like to make it maybe a darker wood. But maybe that's not a bad idea. It's just that I liked the feeling of like that delicate color on the outside, which I guess we could still leave it like that nice, bright, light blue, delicate color. And actually colors are another thing that I kind of struggled with a little bit because if you know, when I build, blues and greens are like my favorite colors to use, which is essentially what you see throughout this house. So then when you think about other colors that you can use in a house, you've got like I guess, oranges that I could have used. Yeah, maybe orange would have been a nice color. But then you've got like yellow, red, pink, purple, which I just would have not been able to use in this house for some reason, because I didn't want to just make this house like a dark blue, and then you would have been like, oh, okay, so somebody that likes dark blue has to live in here. So it's hard to make a house feel like it's got no kind of personality in a sense. Okay, that I love round rooms. Don't we all love round walls and their beautiful little glitches? I wanted to make this house as like brand new player friendly as possible. I wanted to have like zero personality. I wanted you to just move in and to live your life the way you want to without me like setting a specific theme. So that's why when I decided to use blue on the outside of the house, I was like, right, well, I can't use too much blue on the inside because then it's going to be considered the little blue starter home, which little Simsy said she loves blue little starter homes. So that was very cute. Then I also did blue in the bathroom, which I really like the bathroom. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. The bathroom is probably like the one room of the house that I'm like totally fine with. I feel like actually I should have moved the light over a little bit more centered. Okay, never mind. So then I did this room like a light green color. Again, I didn't want it to be a too specific kind of green swatch. So that was probably the most difficult part, choosing a color for a starter home and not just making it like white and wooden. But now that I think about it, I guess I could have done that a little bit. Where is that really cool wallpaper that I found the other day? It was just like white and it had like a dark trimming at the top of it that was really nicely carved. Oh, it's this one actually. Have a look at this trim. This is actually really pretty and I've only just recently discovered it. I don't know, I'm blind. Look at this. This is really, really pretty. It has like lovely little wooden carving at the top of it. And I actually really like that idea. So why don't we maybe try and add that into this room instead? Oh, do I like that though? I don't really actually, because it's clipping right into that window. I guess I could have lowered the window down a little bit, but then I would have had to lower all of the windows on this floor. How do I feel about that? Yeah, I guess I could lower everything down. Now that we've got move objects, I can, but trust me, without move objects, I bet you there would have been an issue with it. Okay, so we've got something like this here now. Lovely. I guess I could just run this here too, I guess. I hate the way that's kind of clipping through my stairs though, so that's a bit weird. But then now that I think about it, should I make this like a darker color? It should be, shouldn't it? What's the difference between this one and this one? Very small difference, but maybe we could do this. But then the kitchen is all nice and bright and airy, and it just is kind of being ruined by that dark edge. I'm not sure. I guess what I could have done is made the house like a smidgen smaller. Should we try that? If I move the stairs over... Oh, it's not allowed apparently. Rude. It should be allowed. Why aren't you allowed? Why don't I remove the banister and put it out there for a minute? I don't want to get rid of it because it's just going to ruin the budget. But if I just move everything over a second, we're just revamping the room, don't worry, just moving things around, everything is fine. Can I move these stairs like this? I can. Okay, that window then becomes a little weird. So just say if we maybe delete that window. I'll leave it here in the kitchen for the moment, or even like here for the time being. So imagine if we actually moved everything over by one singular tile, kind of like this. What am I selling? Walls, I'm presuming. Hopefully just walls. I don't really want to sell anything. So then that would go like this. Oh no, I've sold this plant. Why are things selling? Okay. So then I'd move everything over a little bit this way. Everyone move over. We're changing the house. I don't know why. Well, I guess I could see whether this maybe would have been a better option. Okay, something for 3 simoleons just sold. That's fantastic. What was it? Is it just a wallpaper? Weird. Anyways. Okay, so that would make my house like a smidgen smaller. Okay, for some reason it looks so much smaller now. It's kind of weird, but let's go upstairs. So then upstairs, what I'd have to do essentially is also make this smaller by 1, right? Which it has sold something else right now. What are we selling? It's just walls, I'm hoping. Yeah, I think it's just walls that are being sold. Okay, so if I make it smaller by another little smidgene, okay, we're gonna adjust the roofing to fit, which is just positioning it this way. So everything else now kind of seems normal again. It's just now the positioning of the windows that are obviously like not working, which is fine. We'll get everything fixed. That essentially is what it would have looked if I made it smaller. The only reason why I would make it smaller is just to have more money, I suppose. So that is something that I could have considered. Let me fix the windows on the inside, I guess. I could have brought these two, maybe like this at least. Okay, okay. Okay, I feel like this downstairs window would have had to be gone. But that was actually a window that we spoke about that we wanted to keep just for balance. So I'm sure we've added that extra window, or was it the upstairs window that we've added just for balance? But I feel like now with this stair here, there's just no way in hell that that would work with move objects off. So that would be an issue. But so far, looking at this space, it doesn't look so bad being, I suppose, smaller. Wait, is that how tall I had the curtains? That looks a bit silly, doesn't it? Why didn't I just raise the window up a little? That looks so much better. Okay, that looks automatically like 100 times better. Wait, now if I do this, raise these up slightly so that the planter pots actually sit like nicely flush with the window. And that actually makes these windows look less awkward because they're also in like the center, I guess, of the wall. Or do they need to go higher? I feel like they need to go higher now. Okay. Well, just say anyways, like that's your little thing. So now if I put like my things back to where they belong, this room only a smidgeen feels smaller. Like I wouldn't say it feels too squished. Wait, now this door should technically go like here, I guess, so that could go back in there. It doesn't feel too small. I feel like it actually looks a bit better, dare I say. Okay, upstairs then, I'd have to bring this little thing back here, and I guess we could delete this now because I did have like that awkward little gap inside the corner, so I guess that's fine now that that's gone. So the bed would still kind of go in the middle between those two windows, I guess. Are these even straight? I'm not sure. Then this thing could go like kind of here in the corner, which isn't a bad old look. And then we could have like the plant here upstairs in the corner. Okay. Oh no. Is this better? The Sims watching this being like, oh, why didn't we tell her? Okay, hold on a while, because now I've got 462 simoleons left that I could implement somewhere into the house. Okay, right. That just put a whole spanner into my works, didn't it? Okay, let's look at the outside here, because I feel like now that I can use things with move objects, I feel like I wouldn't have to use as many like random shrubberies, and I could actually position things a little bit better. Okay, so I'm happy with all these, I guess. See, even moving things like this on their axis just to fit things a little better would have just been a godsend, but obviously that was not the case. That's not what we could have done, but now that I can do it, I feel like I could just make things look a little bit more organic, and I'm just moving things around to fit a bit better. Okay, there we go. I guess even like this thing now could be almost like this. Oh my god, that looks so much better. This is so funny. Also, I guess the tall thing should go in the back. Yeah, no, so I guess that is right. So these were kind of okay this way. I did like my mailbox there. If you are wondering why the mailbox is so awkwardly positioned over there, it's because I said it to the team numerous amounts of time that being from Ireland, our mailboxes are technically all on our like doors. We've got like a thing, if you can imagine a mailbox but on your door, but like a small little rectangular one. That is something I like begged, and I've asked them like so many times. I was like, look, is there any chance we could get a mailbox that like is smaller, literally kind of, wait now, kind of something like this, literally something like that. And I was like, please, is there any way we can make this functional so that it clips onto the door and that you can get your mail into your door, so that your mailman will come and literally put the mail into the door? And they kind of said nothing about it, so I was like, okay, it's fine, whatever. But now that I think about it, yeah, that is definitely something that would have made a lot more sense. Even if we had like a mailbox like this, if I could put it over here, again, that would have made more sense. Now, there are homes, especially like if you live out in the countryside, if you have got like a long driveway, obviously we do have like mailboxes like this, but the majority of them would still be kind of almost connected to like a gate or something onto your driveway. So obviously your mailman doesn't have to drive all the way up to your front door, but still something like this would be more common than a mailbox on a stick. So to make this realistic, because I obviously didn't have this mailbox or this mailbox, I had to do with what I had. So this is what I did, and that's why you may be thinking, Sandra, what the heck is that? But that is just what I've got, you know, and that's the authenticity, I guess, that I brought into this pack. And now that I think about it, should I just remove this shrub, even though I am going to lose money? Maybe I'll leave it here for the moment. Okay, so now I've got to fix my terrain, because now the terrain looks hideous. I'm going to remove all of the terrain from here, but I'm not going to remove my little path, because that path took me so long to do. So maybe if I just remove like this portion. Okay. And obviously we're going to remove this because I'm going to do it again at the front. And then the side here looks perfect. Okay. So again, this is, I think, the dirt, the muddy mud that I've used in like the lightest softness pretty much. And I just like tapped all the way underneath all of my little shruberinos. Well, I mean, I'm doing this now really quickly because it's not being officially shipped with the game. But if you wanted to know how I actually did it, I zoomed in really closely and I literally underlined rocks like this because I thought that you guys are going to be looking up that close. But obviously, that's not what people do. They don't really care that much, I don't think. But then again, you know, I wanted to make sure that I'm pleasing everyone as best as I can, because now seeing people like visiting my builds and like commenting on them, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like terrified someone's going to find something. And I'll be like, oh my God, why didn't I do it? And that is actually probably the most heartbreaking thing about all of this, is that like in the moment when you're working on this for such a long time, like, yes, there will be things that you're like, oh yeah, I think I've done everything the best I can. But then obviously there's things that if someone mentions it to you again, you're gonna be like, oh, I guess you're right. Like I could have done this, but now it's too late. So why talk about it, you know? So yeah, there has been moments where I was like, oh God, maybe there's things that I could have added. And I'm like terrified to watch people's videos just in case they actually tell me something smart, and I'll be like, oh, how did I not think of this? But now, as I said, it is just viciously too late. Also, with this floor pattern, this is essentially what I did. I like painted the squares like this, and then I would go in with the eraser tool and just like erase as close as I can to it to get rid of like the reminiscence of that other square. But it is so bloody hard to make it perfect. It's just not perfect. It never will be. That's why I think the majority of the time I just add a little bit of stones on the side to make it look more natural. But I don't know. I guess this is fine. It's fine, Sandra. It doesn't matter anymore. No one's going to want this house anyways. It's already in the game. So anyway. So now I'm going to add my path back in here again. And this is kind of the way I did it. So I make it overflow this side. I'm going to cut it out a little bit. I guess this is fine. And then I go back over it with a square and we fix it. There we go. So that is our path. Once again. Okay, where is this meant to go? I guess like here. Is that where I wanted it? That looks a bit silly. Surely maybe this went like over here and you went like over here. Surely. Oh, I love the way I could just put like the alt key, well, use the alt key to position my stuff. I think that looks so much better. I now feel like there is just a little bit too much going on here with these planter pots. I wish I could maybe put these like planter pots maybe here instead. Is that weird? No, I guess maybe it is fine. Or maybe if I just move the tall shrubs over a little bit, maybe that makes a little bit more sense so that the shrubs are next to each other. Or else maybe if I put this one here, this one there, and this one back there. Is that better? I don't know. Oh my God, why am I overthinking this now? If you think I'm overthinking it now, imagine what I would have been like. Imagine being in the same room with me while I'm actually trying to build this for The Sims. That's when I was overthinking things. Actually, can I take that shrub from over there? Maybe that's what I need. Yes, there we go. That's more like it. And then we put the rock over here. Okay. I still don't really like it. Oh no. Maybe this is better. Maybe if I make this stone smaller. Can I not? Wait, can I not make this stone smaller? Oh, that's weird. Oh, I can't make anything smaller or bigger. That is weird. That's bizarre, actually. I don't know why that is. Okay, whatever. I guess this is a little bit better. So things are flowing a little bit nicer. And there's no like kind of tall things too close to the flower planter pots. So I guess that's nice. Okay, I kind of like this. Right. So that is our outside. Oh, that's not fixed. Hold on a sec. There we go. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the outside of the house fixed. So I made it smaller and now I've got 462 simoleons left to play around with the inside of the house. And now that I think about it, maybe I do like that darker color on the inside. But just looking at everything else being white, like the front doors and the windows and stuff, would I be happy having this? Oh, I can make it white from inside. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh my God, that is maybe what I want. Is that what I want? I guess so. That probably makes sense. Or do we just make it white? I mean, it's gonna match everything else. Although it looks a bit yellow, which is kind of weird, but I guess it does make sense. Unless I also make this table brown. Oh, brown table. Yes. Yeah, I kind of like that black one, so that's fine. But now I feel like this would also have to be brown. I guess it's kind of nice. But now that I think about it, I feel like the floor should be a little brighter. So again, I think I've mentioned this before, but we had to do this thing called a squint test, that if you've got a lot of like dark wooden objects or whatever it is on the floor, you shouldn't really go with like a dark floor, even though that's like my favorite thing to do, doing dark floor and dark items. The thing is not to do that, so that if you squint your eyes, you can still see everything kind of coming through. So I guess now that I think about it, I really should have, I guess, well, no, I shouldn't have done anything at the time. But now that I think about it, maybe I should make the floor a bit brighter. And I kind of like this one. Do I like this one? It almost looks a bit dirtier and nastier. But then again, it doesn't really match my little skirting boards anymore because they're very dark. So maybe this floor is actually the correct floor to use for this. But I do really like the idea of the dark floor. Oh, that's lovely. No, okay, wait, now let's go back to the regular. What about using maybe a different color of this? There's green. Okay. There's a yellow. You see, yellow is just not my cup of tea when it comes to this. There's a lovely blue. There is this thing that's meant to be, is that meant to be like purple? Oh, it's just a darker blue, but it looks purple. Okay, that's fine. There's a lovely peachy color. Oh, okay. Oh, I kind of love this. Maybe that would have been nice. But then I feel like everything should be made back white again. Well, actually, it was like this white with a little bit of texture to it. So maybe that's better again. But now I feel like the floor is just not matching again. What about this? Is that better? I don't know. I think it's just that chair. Like, I really want to use that chair now, the new chair. But the legs of it are brown and nothing else in this room is brown. That's why I'm like kind of struggling to figure this out. And for some reason, I desperately really want to use this wall. Oh my God, why does this kind of match with like a peachy tone? Oh, okay, that's kind of cute. Wait a second, is this couch designed to like match this chair? Well, kind of. Not necessarily, but kind of. Wait, why do I kind of love like the neutral vibes here instead? Also, this plant was actually not meant to be there. Can you go down low, please? Oh my God, why do I kind of love the light peachy vibes? Okay, now that I think about it, I don't like that chair anymore. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it anymore. It's pissing me off. I think I like the idea of it in green, but now that I think about it, I don't even think I want this room green anymore. So maybe let's go back to the idea of the matching kind of chair. But what if we make this room kind of more beigeier? Okay, and then we make the bedroom like a funky maybe green color. What do we think about this? I'm not sure at this point, guys. I'm just like coming up with these weird ideas. So if I paint this room kind of green, and is there like a nice green color? We could have used this one maybe. Okay. And then maybe like dark wood. That doesn't match though, because that's like a gray. Unless we did this. I kind of like the idea of the green, but there's no like matching color to this. I guess we could do the dark brown with the green. Oh, do I prefer this? Guys, I don't know. At this point, do I know? I don't think so. I don't know. The green curtains. Okay, absolutely the green curtains. I think that is really cute. What do we think? Is that nice? I don't even know if I like that plant in this corner. Maybe the plant needs to be like here. Is that giving me a good balance? I don't think so. I also feel like this needs to be more centered. I know that's a bit of an awkward gap, and I'm not sure whether the Sims team would like that gap there. You've got to make sure that whatever you put down, you don't want your Sims getting stuck in there or something. So I guess maybe that's a little bit better. Oh my God, what do we think? What do we think? Also, do we want that light more above the bed? You see, I don't really like the idea of the light being directly above the bed because I feel like that would be kind of annoying. So I feel like that's why I put it slightly off center. I guess I could have done it more so like this, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Or maybe more so like this to match the other side of the room. Oh my God, okay. I don't know whether I like this plant. I think I'm gonna get rid of it. Now that I look at it, I actually really don't know whether I like how dark everything is. Like for a starter house, I guess it is kind of cute, but is it too dark? I'm not sure. I think the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure. Unless I actually go for this wall. Okay, that's cute, I guess. But then again, like the white here is just like bothering me now. No, I think I prefer the lighter colors. This is so funny because I'm like going through this, trying to figure this out. But now that I'm figuring it out, maybe I actually really like my house. And maybe all of you guys need to just stop commenting on how empty this room is, because like what else am I supposed to put here? I'm not really sure. Also, all of the base game beds are just so crappy that like there just wouldn't have been a better option. Like I guess I could have used this, but I don't like that bed. I don't like that one either. And then it just got too expensive. So this is the bed that I gotta go with. But it's just the fact that the headboard and the bed sheets don't match. There's nothing I can do about it, you know? So that's just the way it's going to be, unless I just leave it all like that kind of gray white color. But I do make the bed kind of like that. I guess that's not that bad. I guess. I kind of hate it. I hate it. You know what? The more I'm doing this, the more I'm realizing I actually think I've really liked my house. And now I'm like overthinking it and trying to add things that like, yeah, maybe are nice, but do I really care about them? I don't think so. I actually think I really, really enjoyed what my official house looks like. And I think I'm just wrecking it now. So I think I might just go back and make things like the same again. I like the way I made it slightly smaller, but I guess I don't really know where to put that plant now. Right now, I kind of want this to be further back a bit. I don't like the idea of that plant being up there. I think it's just way too high up. And we did have to add these plants into the game. So I guess I could have added it like over here with like next to the book nook. I guess that's kind of fun. Although, does that look a little bit awkward over there by its own? By itself. I don't know. This plant just feels really awkward here now. Like, I wish I could just like put it here in between these two. But does it get lost over there? Kind of. It does get lost, doesn't it? Oh, I don't have a rug, actually, by the way. Why did I sell that at the start? I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to pay full price for it again. That's great. It obviously was a base game rug, and it was, ladies and gentlemen, which one was it? Can I even afford it anymore? This one, 150. Okay, that's fine. I can't remember which color it was though. I think it was this one. Okay, yeah, we're looking back again. We're looking at like my house again. Unless maybe I actually put that plant over there, and then in this one I just put another plant. Or maybe if we just get rid of this one. Or if I actually, wait, swap and put another plant here and bring this one down. Yes, okay, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, and then we just, yeah, we leave this one. Actually, no, we leave the upstairs one empty, because like the upstairs one, like you could just like go in and plant whatever you want in it. So yeah, we just like leave that one empty. But this one here, yeah, this is like the cute one. Yes, okay, that's more like it. Okay, I prefer this. This is better. I like this. This is nice. So looking at the positioning of this, yeah, I'm kind of happy with the way it's positioned now, I think. So the chair is kind of like here. I guess, wait, now this should probably be more centered. Kind of like this. The lamp can be kind of on the corner there. Okay, I like this. I like the bookshelf here in the corner because, as I said, it still gives you a nice bit of room. Like if you wanted to move the bookshelf, you could. But if you do want to get the apothecary table, you still could somehow like fit it in here. Obviously, you know that I've got move objects on, but even if you were to get rid of that bookcase, you could like whack your apothecary table inside here and start your own journey with the apothecary, if you get me. So like I kind of like that idea of having a little bit of room for activities, because like instantly in my head I'm like, oh, an easel could go in there and it would be a perfect spot for painting. So I know it's still a bit of an awkward shape, but I also like that round wall feature, so I kind of had to have it. And you know, the round walls are a little bit awkward to snap things into, so that's why I was happy enough to leave that space there blank. The kitchen, I mean, there's nothing really I could have changed with the kitchen. If we're sticking to the rules, I guess I'm kind of happy with the way it looks. I could have made it a little bit darker, you know, like the countertops, because there's obviously beautiful different swatches that we've got now. But trust me, I was here for ages trying to decide what swatches to do. And like, there's just so many different swatches. I didn't really want the white because that would just be, it would just get too dirty too quickly. The dark wood is kind of nice, but it was kind of standing out a little bit. I guess maybe if I changed the rug to a darker color. Yeah. I guess maybe I like the darker wood a little bit better. Or maybe like that kind of creamier wood here. Actually, that's quite nice. Maybe I like this. But again, that wasn't really that big of an issue for me. I knew the kitchen was going to look like slightly sad, but that is just the way it is. I also just hate the way it clips so much into the wall. So if this was me, I wish I could like move things over to the fridge. I know the fridge needs air to breathe. I know. But I just prefer things to not be like clipped into the wall, and then you've got room around your sink. So maybe that's what I would have done if I could, you know. The bin, yeah, I'm kind of happy with the bin here. I obviously would just move it to the wall a little bit. But yeah, maybe I just like this room, like that lovely little green color. Maybe I just shouldn't be changing it too much. I mean, maybe I do prefer it slightly smaller. Okay, that toilet paper needs to be moved. Okay, wait, now if I just move the toilet paper kind of like to here, that's perfect. Okay, the light, I guess, if it just moves over a tad, kind of like this. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, I think still that shape is okay. And I don't think upstairs looks too awkward. I feel like I'm missing something up here now though. Maybe I just get another plant, because I know I sold one plant. So I guess I could just put this one here. Yeah, that's not too weird, is it? No. How much is this one? Yeah, this one's 25. I guess I could splurge on this one. This one's prettier. We've got the money. We could do like this at an angle, although that's a bit weird. Sorry, I'm like panicking now. Maybe that could go there and then you go there. That's a bit sad, being so empty. But these plants, the new ones, are so bloody expensive, like 240 simoleons. I mean, I have the money, but I just would not do it. No, I just would not do it. Unless, wait now, unless I just put you back there, bring you downstairs, bring you back upstairs because you're nice and flat. Whoops. And put you back down here. Yeah, I prefer this, I think. Yeah, that's really pretty. Okay, that's nice. I was stuck as well between having a little bit of a little bit of artwork in this room, and I actually was going to pick out, I think it was like this dude right here. I think I was going to put you like right here, so maybe I should actually put this here. The reason why I wanted that there, because I knew you could make little, you know, pressed paintings, so I wanted you to be able to put your own one up there, so I didn't actually put it in there, and in the end I don't think I had enough money, so that was fine. But now that I do have the money, maybe I could put that up there. And I guess it would be nice to also have like a painting on this wall. I can't really afford many. Like if I use this one for 200 simoleons, I guess that would like use up all of my money. No, I think that's way too vibrant and bright. Unless I bring you and put you here. No, I think you're kind of nice over on that weird wall. Okay, so I'm really happy now with my downstairs. Yeah, we've just got a regular saucer, by the way. Wait, did I put it all the way up here? I definitely should have had it more so like this in the center, although yeah, no, maybe I was right, or maybe this is better. I don't know. Whoopsies. Okay, we're happy with everything in the kitchen or in the bathroom. Actually, the one thing I was thinking about when I uploaded my build, I feel like I should have had a towel, but I don't know. I guess maybe I just did not have enough money, and maybe I just couldn't put it in because of move objects. But maybe a towel would probably be a better option to have here as well. Okay, so we've got a little hand towel, or else wait now, instead of this one I could have the big one here. Oh, that probably would have been cool to do, just like a little towel. The little white one with the blue lines, it matches perfectly with the lines on the walls. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted, and I didn't do it, but now I'm doing it, so I hope you guys enjoy. Yeah, I also picked the more detailed, older kind of grounded tiles rather than the plain Jane tiles, because I just wanted more detail, and I guess I'm kind of happy with that, because it is it's meant to be inspired by like an old Irish home, and a lot of them would be very old and things would be kind of breaking and like, you know, just being extra old and like just worn. So I was kind of happy with that. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of happy with everything now. We've obviously changed the upstairs to the kind of darker color and green vibes going on, which I guess is kind of nice too. We've got 176 simoleons, and honestly I don't think that's a really bad number. With the outside, again, I was kind of happy enough to leave it this big because I want you to be able to see that outside and be like, okay, well, there's room for improvement, there's room for activities, there's room for me to expand. This pond was something I needed to add, so I guess I'm kind of happy with the way that looks. But I guess the one major thing I could have done to this house was to make it slightly smaller, now that I think about it, because I think it still looks fine. It literally still looks the exact same. It's just it's one tile shorter, and I don't think it looks too awkward. I don't think it looks too out of place, and I could have saved so much money and I could have added more detail. So yeah, I guess maybe you guys were right. Maybe if I made my house a little smaller, I could have added more things upstairs, maybe like a little painting upstairs as well, just to make it look a bit better. Although we don't have many paintings actually that I could have added, so that's always an issue. There's just not many things you can add. I could have added a little pride flag, or I could have added like a little coat rack, or some aprons. How much are these? 145 simoleons for aprons. Yeah, maybe no. Maybe I wouldn't have added aprons, but you get the idea. I could have added something. I could have added this thing, whatever this is. No, that's ugly. Why would I want that there? No. Yeah, that is essentially what that house now looks like. Again, it is kind of like the same thing, but it's just a tiny bit smaller, and we've changed a couple of the colors. I don't understand why this is still broken. I really don't get what happened here. So wait a sec. Can I like try fix it myself? Is it just because this needs to be a room? I really don't know what the problem with this is. Oh, I can just paint it up there. Okay, well, why didn't they tell me I could do that? Because that didn't work when I was going in The Sims. Oh my god, okay, it's fixed. Okay, so now my house is actually fully, like, properly fixed. Okay, the ceiling is now correct. What about if we go downstairs? Okay, downstairs seems fixed as well. Now, that window is bothering me a little bit, but I kind of like the way that there is a window here. And I guess to many people that may seem awkward, but I think I'm still going to leave that window there. I kind of like it there. Maybe I could go like this, but I guess it would be very very close then to the door. No, I kind of still like that window there. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that window there. I know it's with move object, so you guys are gonna have to understand that. So I've got 176 simoleons left, and I really don't want to add anything into it. As you've seen me try and add things into it, I feel like when it's your own build, you're like, oh my god, I don't know how to make this look better, because in this video I just wanted to make minimal changes. I didn't want to make it too extreme. I guess one other thing that we could do, I'm going to save this to the gallery. I'm going to save One Mary Shores Road, but I'm going to just say revamped, or maybe reno. And I am going to upload this to the gallery, that in case you guys wanted to get this and add it into your own game if you prefer it this way. I'm going to say renovate by Sandra. I'm gonna save this for myself, and I'm gonna upload it to gallery when the video goes live, so that you guys can get this in this version now if you do prefer, because I guess it just gives your Sims a little bit more money to start with. And if you do prefer the changes that I've made, that would be quite fun. Now what I want to do though, again, is go into this house, right, and see how I can actually make this house bigger. So just say, okay, I'm gonna save it for myself the way it is. So imagine you go into this house and you're like, right, but I have 2 Sims, or I want a separate office. I want an extra room. Well, I think now that the way the house is positioned, you actually have got so much room for expansion in multiple different ways. So let me show you the 2 ways that I would do it. So I guess right now the budget really doesn't really matter anymore. I am going to move the letterbox just over here for a second. So the first thing you could do essentially is move it this way and add yourself an extra room. I'm going to give myself some extra money. Okay, so now that I've got some extra money, so as I was saying, what I could do is I could essentially add another room kind of going out this way. So that would extend your house like awkwardly to the side of the house. You could maybe extend the patio out a little bit too if you wanted to make it, I guess, look a little bit cuter. Actually, that wouldn't look too bad if I did something like this. And then if we just extended that roof out this way, like that could be number 1. Like that is how you extend the house the easiest way. Okay, why can't I ever clone these bloody foundations? I don't know which one I've used. Is it this one? I guess it is. Okay, there we go. That wasn't too bad. So that could be one thing that you could do. You could just add maybe an extra column there. And then depending on what you want in the room, I guess you could add like either maybe 2 big windows actually. That could be kind of fun. Oh yeah, if you're doing like a little art studio, wait, now you could add maybe just like the regular window, because there was a window here. And then maybe at the back, you could add another window. I guess that looks a bit long now, but just say for instance, you could do something like this, because you still have enough room then to walk around the side. Like if I just remove, like just say this portion here, I could still get my little rocks, and I could just still paint that little path kind of going around this way. Move these little shruberinos over to this side, and Bob's your uncle. There we go. We've got something going on here for us. Bam, one of those in, bam, another one. That's probably all you need. Yeah, that's actually really cute. I know it's a little awkward, but you can see how an extension can be applied like really quickly. And of course, oh yeah, so that's the thing, we got to do the inside. So we had a window over here already. So I guess what you could do is you could either move this table, like you can even move it inside this room if you wanted to. But then of course, you've got to give yourself a little door here like this. And then you could just like either continue this wallpaper and then, I don't know, paint this room a regular color, or just extend it to this color as well, and either create yourself a separate bedroom or else like a fun art studio. For instance, you get a little easel. Actually, maybe the easel could go this way. Get a nice little desk, a little chair. Actually, this little table doesn't really work here anymore. Maybe we could actually put it here. There we go. We could do something like this. How fun is that? And now, so there we go. We've got a nice little office space added onto our building on this side of the house, which I think is really cute, because I guess for like a little office space, this would be perfect. For a bedroom, I guess you could change those windows and just make the windows a little bit smaller, so you've got a little bit of privacy. But I think it would be really nice to have like a fun little extra room, so you can even do your apothecary in this section. And then I was almost thinking, because you know the way you could do like the apothecary business, you could actually add like a separate door entrance here, and then extend your business kind of out to the side and the back here, so you could like invite the apothecary people over. Wait, now let me actually check that out. Can I do it this way? What if I actually run this that way? Okay, that looks a little awkward, but just bear with me here. I guess I could make it a bit shorter, but automatically that kind of feels like it is more so like a business, like a porch thing. Oh, we could even have like a separate entrance, maybe from like this way. I know your Sims are not going to understand why you want them to go in through the other side, but just like keep this in mind. This could be a fun thing you could do where you could get rid of this and have like a door here. I'm presuming this door is functional here. I don't know. Actually, now that I think about it, it's probably not. But just imagine this, like you make yourself like a fun little entrance room. Let's just get rid of like this, just say for instance, get rid of this desk as well. So you could just get yourself the apothecary table, put it down here instead. You could like put down some chairs so like, you know, whoever is like waiting in here can have like a little sit down or something. Actually, this thing is just like not working here for me anymore. Wait, now maybe I could actually move this door over like this and we could just leave that back where it belongs. So that would be like your entrance to your little apothecary section. But like I think that's really cool. You can still turn this into like a little apothecary shop thing or like a little clinic. I don't know. I think it's really fun. Like there's many possibilities that you can do. You can even get rid of like this window actually. Maybe put the seats kind of like here so it's like a little waiting room. Wait a sec. This is fun. Put the apothecary table maybe like here instead. And then also add like one of these here too to make yourself look even fancier. Oh, I love this, guys. This is really fun. Okay, this is really cool. So there are many different things that you can do. My instant idea was like, oh, we can just do like a little apothecary business coming out the side here. And you can even like, I suppose, cut this off so that your Sims don't really walk into this side somehow. I mean, I don't know. There's multiple ways that you could do it. But I think this is really cool. And I think it does make a lot of sense. What do we think? So that's like your little fun apothecary section. You can then, like, I suppose, like expand it to the side here if you wanted, but I guess that is the one thing I would have done in this house if I was doing this. So then if you also wanted to do another little extension, this is what I also thought about. So with the original shape of the house, there was a little bit more room here by the stairs, whereas now I don't really have that room. But essentially, if you get rid of that window and if you like move all these shrubbery, no, actually, let's just leave them because I guess we are going to be putting a room here. Let's just move this over. What you could do instantly is add yourself another door, or even actually you don't need a door. You can almost create a hallway, but you can add another room kind of over like this way, which I think also would make a lot of sense. Or else you can move like the kitchen over here, but I wanted you to be able to go backwards out this way as well. So that would be a very quick way to add a little bit more room into your house, like maybe for either a kid or like if you wanted a separate office space altogether, like another separate one, you could also do that. But I think this would be a very quick way to introduce a little bit more space without having to like really mess the place up again. Like there is really little room here, but originally with the original design you would have a little bit of extra room here. But I think that is really easy to make it look okay. It does look a little bit awkward here because I don't understand why the steps do this with the stairs. Like this is very annoying. I guess what you could do to fix it is do this. I guess that does look a little better. I feel like I'd also add another little separate light in here. But yeah, we've got an extra room, I suppose. And you could even make this like a kid's room if you wanted. So as I've said, the possibilities, I suppose, I don't want to say they're endless possibilities because like obviously at some point the house is going to look a little bit like a spaceship. But I did want you to feel like you can do these things and make this, you know, easy to expand. Obviously right now it does look a little bit odd with this shape, but there is a lot of room that you have, I suppose. And I'm just trying to like not remove as much of the pond. I mean, you could probably just remove the pond. The pond was just, not to say the pond was an afterthought, but the pond was definitely a separate little thing that we've added kind of towards the end because there was new features coming with the pond. But I suppose you could just totally get rid of this pond. Pretend it never existed, and then you immediately have just another nice chunk of room to play around. So there we go. I kind of fixed this house a little bit just to make it look like it belongs a small bit more. So we've got the back entrance here from the kitchen still. It goes all the way around the little kids' room. You've got a place obviously for like a barbecue and your gardening and things like that. And then you've got like your own little home front business, which I think is really cool because you can turn this house into a multitude of different things. And of course, then you could expand it all the way upstairs. Actually, wait, now should we try that while I'm here? I guess you could actually, do you know what you could do? You could turn this little place into a hallway and essentially give yourself another room upstairs. That would be interesting, actually. Dare I say, that could be another option for you. You could have like the master bedroom here. And then over here, what you could actually turn this into is another small little room and a bathroom. So essentially from the upstairs, you can actually turn this into like a long hallway. And then because you've got that space downstairs already, I guess if I just paint all of this stone at the bottom now, that probably looks a lot better. You can turn this house into like a big house. Like you could have a multitude of different bedrooms, which I think is a lot of fun. There we go. So that is what my expanded house looks like. I know it looks a little awkward from the back, but don't all extensions look a little bit awkward from the back? But you can essentially create yourself like a long hallway. Or you can even actually make this a little smaller and make this room bigger, because a hallway is just a little too large, I guess, for my liking. And in this room, I suppose you could even fit a bath if you wanted to, if you're going to have like a family home. And upstairs then, of course, you could actually probably fit another double bedroom in here. Yeah, you probably could. I mean, it is a little bit of a squishy room. I feel like the room downstairs for the two kids could have been an extra like double room, whereas this should be probably a singular room. But this room still is definitely a room that gives you a lot of possibilities, actually. You could even fit a desk up there if you wanted to. I know I'm pushing it a lot now, you know, I'm really trying to make the most out of this house now. But from my little starter home, I did manage to create a massive house that now is like so fully expanded. Okay, the back does look a bit bad, actually. I must say the back does not look the best. But it doesn't matter, guys. It's really about what's on the inside, because at this point, like when you are living in a house like this, you're obviously like pushing the boundaries of this home, so I guess it doesn't really matter. This house is still your own, that you've made it out of nothing. Oh, actually, now I probably would need to get rid of this, because there used to be a balcony or like a little overhanging thing here, but now we don't have that. But I guess this still looks kind of cute. What do we think? Look at it. It's just massive now. So from this tiny little space, you can go out this way. You can actually probably turn this into a kitchen as well, and maybe have like a nicer back garden here coming out with like a nice big slidey door. But you can create a house with three bedrooms, a home office or like a business space, and 2 bathrooms. I think this is a lot of fun. I really like the way that this turned out. Obviously, there's so many different possibilities as well that you could do, but I just wanted to show you them, because as I was building this house, I was almost imagining these possibilities happening straight out, because I wanted to make sure that this house is obviously like livable and that you can do fun things with it. And I don't think it's okay. The back does look a bit awkward, I guess, with this like section, but still, I really like this. Well, guys, that is probably going to be everything from my video today. I really hope you enjoyed this weird little, you know, restoration thing of my own build, which is just crazy. And not to say that I still don't love my build. You probably still seen it at the start of the video that I was almost like afraid to make changes because I thought about this house for so long. But you know, at some point you just have to take a creative leap and turn it into your own space, and that's exactly how I designed this house. I wanted you to feel like you can come in and just make it your own and just move in your own family and start your own little life in this house. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this restoration video, and maybe gave you a couple of ideas of things that you can do with this house, and maybe gave you a clearer idea of why I made a couple of the choices that I did. But I really want to say that this little home is my little pride and joy, and I really hope you guys are going to enjoy it and are already enjoying it in your games. Well, guys, I'm going to leave you right here with my beautiful image of my little starter home, no longer a starter house. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other ideas of things that you maybe might want me to do with this house, or different things that we could put to the test with this house, let me know down in the comments. And if you would like to see me do more renovations of my other builds, please let me know as well. Of course, if you're still going to be buying the Enchanted by Nature pack, do consider using my creator code at checkout. It does really support my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, and I shall see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!